Hello, welcome to the Game Dojo. I'm your host, the Game Ninja, and this is Gamer Nation, the land that gaming built. And you know where you are already by looking around the room. So, it is incumbent upon me, because recently somebody asked me a question. Somebody said, I know you have all the consoles, but I see you normally gaming on PC. Why? Well, there is a short answer to that, which is very simple. Unlimited power! And then there's a very elongated answer, which is easier said than done, but illustrates the point a lot more. I love consoles. I love from Atari 2600 to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X. I love consoles. Consoles are great for a host of reasons, but they're also limited for a host of reasons the same way. When it comes to PC, much more recently, people start to get the aspect of PC gaming. For instance, if I take a game and put it on my PC, it's mine. It's there. I have the EXE, I have the install, I have everything. It's right there, hard and native. And depending on the type of game it is, more than likely, while I can go online and play games online, if there was no net service, I can play it and boot it up right here on my system. As of late, with the next-gen consoles, not many games can do that. Number one, when you get the game, say PlayStation, you install it to your PlayStation. When you first get this game, you put it in. You can't play it immediately. You have to install it to the console. After you install it to the console, more than likely there's an update or a patch or some other form of internet connectivity needed in order to start the game. Now, when it came to the Call of Duty Cold War, I found out actually fairly recently that the campaign wasn't even on the disc, because this game is sought after for its online content. That's what's installed first when you install this game, about 150 gigs worth. But then you go through the menus and you're like, well, I want to play the story of the game, and you have to install the campaign because the campaign is not installed by default anymore. This is something new that I recently found out, but this is something that's more prevalent with what's going on in the gaming industry, unfortunately. Xbox is the same, even Nintendo Switch. My beautiful Nintendo Switch, which I love and love to play, it's pretty much in dock mode most of the time because I play it right there on the big screen. Because, you know, I'm a gamer. And sometimes portable is good and okay. But then sometimes you just want to relax with a big screen. You don't have to worry about straining your eyes and trying to find things. It's just right there for you. But even Switch lately has held to the same standards. But the digital aspect of it is what's killing me lately. Recently, I've just found out that most game makers and manufacturers and companies, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, pretty much all the giant gaming systems right now, have just talked about digital content and how you never really own it. So even if you buy a game, you spend, let's say, $60, $80, $120 on the game, you're actually renting the license to play the game. And digitally, if you don't have a hard copy of that game, let's say if they lose it to copyrights or issues or whatever, what have you, then you don't have access to that game anymore. So that means that money that you spent for that game is null and void in that contract, and the renting lease is over. So you don't have that game, which means you never really own that game, which means you were just renting that game, basically. Renting the license to play that game. And that to me doesn't fly, because somebody who purchases something should own something. But the fact of the matter is, what in this world do you actually purchase anymore that you own? People are like, oh, I'm a homeowner, I own my home. You fall behind on taxes, you default on it. The bank comes and takes the home. So you don't own your home. You're renting it for a certain amount of time. Even though you think you own it, if you own something, something can't be taken from you, right? Because you own it outright. But recently I've learned that a lot of things that we hold dear, we don't own, especially when it comes to digital aspects and gaming. And that's where I have my problem. You see that Nintendo 64 back there in the corner. I have a bunch of cartridges. I'll pull out the Nintendo 64 cartridge. It doesn't need online support. It doesn't need to download DLC. There's no paid microtransactions. I just simply take it out, pop it in, and I'm playing. And that's the way gaming used to be. But it's not the way the gaming industry is now. And it's really the wild, wild west out here now, because from one moment to the next, there's no telling how you could be treated in the digital domain outworld now. And that's the reason why PC to me holds so much more than console. Because when you install something to your PC, it's there. It's there. There's no, it needs a disc to be tested. And that's another thing. If this installs to the console, PS5, Xbox, if you get the game and it installs to the console, then it's on the console. So why, when you try to play a game, does the disc need to be in place? And it'll tell you the disc is not in place. And that means there's some sort of key on the disc that allows it to run, which also means you have to have the game in place in order to run. So if you take this game, like back in the day, I have that Nintendo 64, I take that Mario Kart 64, I go over to my friend's house, he has a 64, I plug it in the system, we're playing games. I take this to somebody else's house, they have to install it, and the update, and download the campaign, and the disc has to be physically in their system in order to play. And like I said, it's something I've had to adapt and change with the current gaming platform. And like I said, I don't mind console. I have them. I have all the consoles. But PC to me just seems like a freer, more divisive way of playing video games. Now I can see back in the day when it was just keyboard and mouse, and the mouse did everything that you needed. You know, you click on it, and there is an aspect of quicker snap movements, firing and turns, and quicker. It's quicker keyboard and mouse. The WASD and the mouse. It's quicker if you're doing like first-person shooter games. But on the same token, I also have 250 controllers all over the wall. And people ask me why. It's really simple. Because I can plug those controllers right into my computer, and I prefer to use controllers when I'm gaming on PC. I know, it's like I'm a hybrid. I'm a hybrid gamer. And when I play a game on PC, I either use controllers or I use the wheels right here. I use my steering wheels, or I have a bunch of different gaming memorabilia that I use when I game. Back there, I got the Xbox 360 fishing controller. And that's the one thing I did like about the older console systems, is they weren't afraid to go out on a limb and add things to their games to make them even more entertaining. I mean, you could play a fishing game all you want every day on a controller, but to actually have a rod and reel, the point and move and turn and crank in, it just completes the experience so much better. Something that's forgotten in the modern day gaming atmosphere. I have like the Wii. The Wii is really one of the last great consoles that I think about because of all the different attachments. I would say the Wii and Xbox 360 is probably my favorite because of all the different attachments, type of controllers, the interactive gameplay that they created. And nowadays people are like, oh, it's VR and AR and augmented. Like, I do understand that things change and things adapt, but on the same token, I don't think they've changed for the better with the digital aspect, because it seems like the gamer is penalized and loses a lot more, because now the gamer is left at the whim of somebody else's hands. And just recently, a lot of studios changed hands. There were a lot of different things that happened, and people were losing their digital games. They would log into their console, go to look for these games, and you no longer have access to this game. And people were like, but I bought it. But did you really? I mean, I myself own digital games on my Switch. Half of my library is digital, which is insane, because once again, I didn't, and I wasn't aware of this aspect, and most gamers don't know what's going on. But on the same token, this is why I suggest gaming PC over console, is because it leaves the power mainly back in your hands. And that's just something you can't change. Whether it's emulation, whether it's actual games, whether no matter how you game on PC, it's a different experience. Whether you're using like wheels, whether you're using pedal systems, there's a lot of simulators where you can use like airplane simulators where they have yokes and yaws, and they have all kinds of amazing controllers and attachments, which makes the gaming experience 1,000 times better. Now, I myself am a little bit further into it, which is why the elite gamer status comes into play. I may wear my my bus driver hat and my bus driver clothes to do a bus driver sim on the wheel and pedal and brake system, and you know what I'm saying, you add change and people get on. It makes the experience so much more than what normal gaming is, and that's what elite gaming is. Elite gaming is taking it to another level to get your entertainment experiences met, and it's kind of like a drug. When you start, there's a deeper aspect in order for you to get it to the point where if you don't get it, you ain't gonna get it, except for other gamers. Other gamers will totally get it. I've seen videos of people changing their entire room to a fuselage for one game, Microsoft Flight Simulator, so that everything in there looks like they have double screens, they have the plane seats, they have the actual dashboard and cockpits of a 747 or a 757 or a Boeing, and that to me is elite gaming, because you're looking at them like, dude, you're weird, but you don't get it. To that person who puts on the clothes, who goes into that cockpit and puts on the seat belt and sits down and does the pre-flight check and everything that a real pilot does, they're doing inside their house. They're completing that experience. And if you've never played Microsoft Flight Simulator or any of the other flight sim games, people actually train on these things for actual flight experience before they really fly a plane. So it's a teaching, learning machine as well as entertainment. And some of these people have 500, 1,000 hours flight experience. And you can actually fly a real plane at that point. They actually have the actual physical experience because of the instrumentation they have in their home in order to actually fly these planes or drive these trains or drive these trucks and buses. And to me, that's absolutely amazing, because now you're no longer in a game setting, you're in an actual professional real life setting. And like Nintendo once said, now you're playing with power. With PC, now you're playing with power because you're only limited by what your machinery is capable of. There's a movie called Weird Science where they said they wanted to make a girl, and he was just like, I'm kind of bummed out. Like, this is all you can do with your system. Like, did you get a free toaster with this? He's like, you know, I was expecting so much more from your system. And that's where the rabbit hole goes with PC gaming, because it can start as basic and as simple as just a basic PC game rig, and then it can go so far where you look at some people's setups and you're just like, my God, what do you play on that thing? And you'd be amazed some of the gaming experiences that elite gamers have. Like, it is insane. Like I was saying, that Xbox 360, look, can you see that right there? That Xbox 360. Xbox 360 has probably about maybe 200 different controllers, from rifles to fishing controllers to, they made specific controllers for specific games to complete the experience. And that was the tip of the iceberg. But when it comes to PC gaming, it just changes everything and the whole aspect. And that is why you're here today. I'm gonna give you just a subset, just a little taste of those experiences which change from PC and console. And like I said, just the freedom aspect alone to me is the intriguing factor when it comes to PC gaming. And I am nowhere near some of the people out there that their gaming rigs and their PCs can do. I am just tip of the iceberg. Some people, it is a labor of love, and I salute you 150%. So while you're here in the Game Dojo today, and we're talking about the experience in gaming, allow me to take you through a little bit of experiences when it comes to gaming and just why they're so amazing. So, let's get to it. So, this is my PC's infrastructure here. And just from, yeah, I got some drives in the red, but I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drives. And you're like, that's a bit excessive. But depending on what's on them, it's either excessive or highly entertaining. And that's why you're here. So let's say I want to use this one right here. Okay? And you may say to yourself, well, what is that? I don't really get what that is. Well, I'm going to show you exactly what it is. Yes, and I'm doing Salagabood and Michigan. Now, I'm loading in an infrastructure. Now, when it comes to PC, like I said before, you're only limited by what you can imagine your PC to do. And if you have the right hardware and the right software, you can do just about anything with your PC. And I mean anything. Anything your wicked little mind can think of. Let's get back into it. So as you see here, the way this infrastructure is running, I have a catalog of games. And there's some of them are still loading in. And I know you're like, oh wow, that's a lot of gaming. Well, I want you to multiply this one tiny subset experience by maybe 1,000 times, because this is just one subset experience. Now I know you're like, so I don't get it. What's going on? What's happening here? Well, allow me to step you into the world of PC. It's a Friday night. I got off of work. I have the gaming bug on my back and I want to game. I don't want to wait for a patch or an update. I don't want to wait for the ability to do something else. So I jump on my PC and I just want to get down to gaming. And then I have fond memories of me Friday nights 10 years ago, 20 years ago with my boys hanging out, busting a game. And I want that experience again, but that experience isn't open to me on console or the console market because they've moved on, they passed on, and there's really no way to give money to those companies anymore to get that game or that experience because it's done with, it's over with, it's gone. Well, with PC, reimagining those experiences become a reality once more. So I'll give you the day. October 22nd, 1999. It's Friday night. It's just after school. We go over to my boy Quan's house. We want to bust some NBA Jam. While NBA Jam can be available on Arcade 1UP for $300 or $400, which is just too high of a markup, or whether or not you have an old console system that you can boot it up on, you can still do that if you have it. There's the console system right there. That's the Sega Genesis. That's the Nintendo 64. That is a regular Nintendo. There's Atari. There's PlayStation. There's Xbox. And there is the Sega Genesis. And there, right there in the center section, that is NBA Jam. So while I can snap it off the wall, pop it in and play, and I do that quite frequently because those experiences have more oomph in gaming than modern experiences where you have to update and download and microtransaction. Like, it's become so parasitic that it really destroys the gaming experience. It's no fun in it. And then you play the actual campaign on something, it's 5 hours. Where back in the day, it was 80 hours or 96 hours or a month sometimes to beat a game. Now it's so quick and it's easy and over with. So I call up my boy Quan, who has his own life, his own children, and everything is different in his life. But he has some time, so he wanted to hop over my house and was like, yo, you remember when we went on Friday nights, we used to bust NBA Jam? We should do that. Yeah, I do. So now I grab a controller off my wall, something that he's used to, say that Xbox One controller, which is already set up to a PC, so that you don't have to worry about the confusion of, oh, my hands don't remember, so I remember that. Or I could grab that Sega Genesis controller right off the wall, because I have a few of them, and most of them are USB compatible, and I can bust that controller right here and put it on there. So now we set up, and I know what you're saying. Well, them old graphics, they don't quite hold up to the new standards. And you're right. Some of the games were not heavily graphically demanding and don't hold up to today's standards. Unless you have a PC, which can change that for you. So now, modernly, through HDMI and the ability of modern technology, we can now replicate that experience without having to go through that. And it's better, it's easier, and it's sweeter. So now what he says, yo, I liked it better on this system or that system. We can now switch within a moment's notice using emulation between Sega Genesis to PlayStation to Nintendo to whatever that you have in your life that you want to game on those systems. Now, some of these games are 20, 30 years old. There's no way to give the current platforms the money for them because you can't buy them. Those e-stores and those places have been done. I mean, if you go out to like a market or something and you find those games like we have, then you can play them. If you have the systems, or you're able to get the system, because the system could be $300, $500, $800 because of the parasitic nature of today's gaming society. Now, in order for you to get your childhood back, it's gonna be very expensive. When it used to be just fun, hunting down these pieces of nostalgia. Like I said, all over my wall, you'll see years and decades of nostalgia that it took me forever to hunt down and find. But once they're yours, it recompletes an experience, but it's all far of how far you're willing to go for it. So let's just say me and him back in the day, our favorite thing was PlayStation 2. So I have the PlayStation 2 chilling right over there in the corner. And while the experiences are the same, you have to hook up to the TV, go through certain points. And most TVs now do not have composite ports anymore, so you have to go through an adapter. They make it harder for you to older game because they know older gaming is better. So they make it hard for you. So they take the ports, like some of my new TV. It does not have the ports, the composite ports. It doesn't have the VGA and all those other things. Everything is HDMI now. So you have to buy an adapter to get an adapter in order to put it together, and then you have to get an adapter for the adapter in order to hold it in there, because they're making it harder for you to go back and replicate those experiences. But there's a simpler alternative. PC. PC, just a few clicks, and you're there. Let's take it back to 2003. Just like that. Power's in your hands. Playing PlayStation 2 right now. No drawbacks, no lines, just 100% free gaming, fun, and entertainment. And just like that, within 10 seconds, you're whisked back to 2003, PlayStation 2, NBA Jam. That's the experience. That's the oomph that PC gives you.
And good evening, sports fans. We've got some round ball coming your way from the SBC Center. Stick around. Tonight's game, the New Jersey Nets and the San Antonio Spurs.
Not too shabby either on the graphics. Already HDMI, already full screen, ready to go.
And we're underway. Passing it. Here he comes. And he's delivered the Parker lets it fly, and he drains it.
Just like that, now you're gaming. Starting to get it? Tell you what, let's do another one, just to give you a little bit of a more greatly experience. So, let's say in the mood for something modern, something with a great ability that I want to bust right now, right here. Something that's just, I don't know. And see, that's the thing when it comes to PC gaming. You're never more than just a point click away of switching game to game. Yeah, the console games, you have to open up one and put in another, or digitally go from point A to point B, which you can do just as fast. But the fact of not owning that game, or the fact of losing that game because a studio changes hands, or somebody loses the licensing or the copyright to a certain game, which means now I don't own it, now I can't play it, and I may have put in 480 hours into that game. That's a problem. That's actually a problem that modern gamers face, and it's not a likelihood, it's a reality. So much to the point now that most games now, if you read in the user license agreement, it will tell you you do not own this game. You're buying the license to rent and lease this game. You don't own it, which means you don't have it and it's not yours. It's a sad state of affairs when it comes to gaming, but gaming is such a big industry now that any way somebody can take an advantage of you, they will. So I'll tell you what, let's jump into this next game, which is loading right now. And like I said, in the space of 10 seconds, you went from 2004 to 2024. But unfortunately, these things that are Steam, like I said, they're digital even though they install on your system. And I kind of like the fact that they don't need, once they're installed through Steam, they don't need it really to run, which is good because you don't have to be online to literally be playing this game. You can play it offline, and I love that a lot more. Steam being one of the better companies that, though they have their same things with microtransactions and these new you don't own these game user license agreements, I do get it. But when it comes to literally the gaming industry, I would prefer Steam over a lot of companies, just for the simple fact that they make gaming a little bit easier than other platforms at the time. And just like that, you went from, just like that, you went from 2004 to 2024. And we're busting Until Dawn, the remake. Just like that. And I'll take it even a step further. You ready? Let's dive into something else. And as of lately, there has been, with Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox, there has been a need to bring their exclusive properties to PC because they know PC is one of the #1 gaming platforms, yet it's not a platform that there is. PC gaming is still one of the highest platforms out there because of the abilities that it has. So PlayStation PC did this whole thing, yes, and there's an actual thing called PlayStation PC where they're taking their exclusives and bringing them over to PC from PlayStation. Microsoft normally does it automatically because Microsoft, manufactures a lot of things for themselves and PC all at the same time. Nintendo has not been as forthcoming with that aspect, which unfortunately it would be a symbiosis better because the hardware that most PCs have nowadays is stronger than their native hardware on their console systems and allows you to render the game better and play it at higher frame rates with better quality and better refresh rates. But as we step forward into technology, I have that literal, sorry, I paused that for a second. I have the Nintendo Switch right here hooked right up to the back of my area through a capture card in my PC. So if I really wanted to play my Nintendo Switch, I can play it on my PC via capture card because I record my video gameplay so that you guys can see it and enjoy my great games because I love experiencing them. I love you to have the experiences. And when I first started gaming, I was not a player. I was a side hustler. I was a spectator, which a lot of people are. Some people don't want to play the game. Some people just want to sit back and watch people play the game. They don't have the the quick twitch movements. They don't have the reflexes. They don't want the anxiety. They feel like people are judging them, looking over their shoulders. A lot of people will start to get their own little consoles and stuff so that they can play themselves before, inviting somebody over, because they don't want to catch an L, or they don't want the experience of looking bad while playing the game, which I get it 100%. Like I said, when I first started out, I watched people game. I came over, hey, you want to bust this game? Nah, bro, I'm good. I want to watch y'all play. I used to do that with my brother Phil all the time. Hey man, you want to get on? You want to get on this? Nah, I'm good. I'm straight. I watch you play. Let me know if it's, I watch. You know what I'm saying? I watch. I get my feet wet. I watch. But that is also a part of the gaming culture, because it's not just the gamer, but the spectators make the gaming experience so much better. Somebody yelling in your ear that you suck, somebody uplifting you because you done scored the winning basket, or you done made that winning touchdown, or you done saved the world, or they done, okay, that's hot, that's what's up. The graphics, there's just so much incorporated into the gaming experience, and all of this makes a rich gaming experience, which is something that needs to be done more and more on the current platforms, but those days are over. I have a friend of mine who I work with, who was telling me a story that he used to invite people over, get pizza, hoagies and wings and stuff, and have like gaming tournaments so they could just like game right there and play Madden right next to each other and jump on them new Madden games. Because at one time, you had to anticipate that new Madden game. You couldn't wait for it to come out because you wanted to be on your favorite players. It was the ultimate fantasy football experience because you're there playing the game. You can affect the outcome of it. But even that has changed with the microtransactions and wheels, and there's just so much that changed in the aspect of gaming that it's just not what it was before. So he went to one of his old friends and was just like, yo, why don't you come over to the crib? We could bust some games and we could make a night out of it. And his friend was just like, what do you mean come over? And he was like, yeah, you come over like we did before, like back in the day, get some pizza and something. You know what I'm saying? We could sit next to each other and game. He was like, but then you're gonna see all my movements and all my plays and stuff. Like, why can't we just do it online? And he was just like, all right, I kind of feel bad, but all right, we could game online. But that eliminates that experience with us as gamers, because now we're so used to seeing somebody up on a corner in a chat block, then right next to us where we can laugh and joke and you just lost, look at that, you got scared, dunked on you. That experience is almost non-existent anymore, because virtually and digitally has changed the entire aspect of gaming, and this is where we are. But what I mean by that is, oh, by the way, I was trying to show you. So God of War Ragnarok. So PC gaming is not what you think it used to be, with the little top-down view with the scrolls, which some games still are. They still have the top-down scrolls. That's just not my arena of combat. But those #1 titles that you play on Xbox and PlayStation, and sometimes on Nintendo Switch, they're still there on PC. They have PlayStation controllers automatically connect to a PC via Bluetooth or even USB, micro C. It connects. It's just automatically there. It's ready. Synergies. It's made to do it. So you can play God of War with that PlayStation controller, your favorite PS5 controller. You can play God of War Xbox with your Xbox controller. It's native, it's ready, it's there. Those games that you see on the consoles that can be rendered better, faster, stronger, with unlimited power, with the technology designed right in your gaming unit. And the experiences are still there. So don't count out PC when you're thinking about your gaming experience. That should be the first thing on your mind, because PC really is the ultimate experience when it comes to gaming. And that's all the new gaming systems are. I hate to say it, but the PS5, the PS6, the new Xbox, those are all just mini PC towers now. They're all just mini PC towers. That's what they are. It's not a shame to say it. It's true. You're literally buying a gaming tower. The video card, the memory, the processor, everything in that, you can buy and put in your computer. You can make a PS5, a PS6, an Xbox right there in your computer, and it'll run all those games probably better than it does on the native hardware. You can do that. PC grants you the ability and the freedom to do that, but with the freedom comes great responsibilities, because there's a lot of nefarious things out there, and you have to be sure that you're on the up and up and on the right and whatever you do, gaming, whether it's digitally or install wise, because there is a much aspect that is, you're only limited by what your mind can achieve when it comes to gaming on a PC. You can play Monopoly with someone in Hong Kong, or you can play Mortal Kombat with your friends in Paris. There's no limit with a gaming PC that alienates you. And now with more cross-gen platform games, you can play games on PC right along with your friends on Xbox and PlayStation. I think all games by now should be cross-gen platforms, but they're not. But I think they should be, because it doesn't matter your arena, whether it's mobile, whether it's PC, whether it's console. You should be able to unilaterally have that gaming experience, and that's where it's so much better. So, like I said, with PC, give yourself the opportunity to not be shortchanged when it comes to gaming. I have nothing against it. Like I said, I have PlayStation all day, every day. I have Xbox all day, every day. I got the old Ataris, the old Super Nintendos. I have all those systems. And at the touch of a button, even, let's say like something like the Sega Genesis Classic, or the Nintendo Classic, or the Super Nintendo Classic, you plug those in via HDMI and you have a Super Nintendo now running on your TV. Like, you can go back and get the old system, or you can get the new digital systems. Like, there you go, right there. See that? Yeah, that's the Genesis Mini. Genesis Mini. One press of a button, and I'm busting Sega Genesis like it's the 90s again. Gaming has changed dramatically for the better and for the worse at the same time. But you got to be able to navigate that digital stream to see what your life is looking for. Some experiences are going to be absolutely amazing and wonderful, and some experiences are going to be completely horrible. I've played DC Online, and I've put money after money after money in it to get the sky base, to get the digital currency and this and that, and it doesn't really feel good until the end of the year and you realize how much money you've invested to the game. It feels bad, because you're just like, I bought your properties, and then you literally just siphoned money out of my wallet for an entire experience that could have been contained in one point. Nintendo 64, you grab that cartridge, you put it in. If there's anything in there that's unlockable, you can unlock it through the game. You've paid one price. They gave you everything. You don't have to be online. You don't have to worry about a patch. You don't have to worry about the game being finished. The game is done. They used to finish games. Now you have a day one patch you have to download. Oh, we know it's bugs. We know it's this and that, and there's problems of breaking down. Yeah, because you don't give a damn anymore. You're so in tune for taking money. Why would you release a game that's not done? Cyberpunk, when it first came out, bro, that almost broke your company, how you literally lied to the public on PlayStation and Xbox, because everything you showed was PC. Everything you ran was PC. And on PC it ran fine, but on Xbox and PlayStation there were game-breaking glitches that almost drove your game continuity into the hole. Matter of fact, it was a point where it was even taken off the PS market. It was taken off the Xbox market. And you guys had to go back to drawing board and finish it. It should have been finished before you started. Now, because you've taken the time and added more and more and more into this game, it's one of the best playable gaming experiences out there. Now imagine if you had gave customers that experiences from the door. Imagine if you had started with that experience. That's what I'm saying. But navigating the game industry nowadays is not an easy thing. So just as in recommendations, PC to me offers a better experience game-wise than consoles, for the simple fact that it puts more freedom in your hands. In the space of 20 seconds, I went from playing NBA Jam on PlayStation 2 to busting Until Dawn 2024 to busting God of War Ragnarok, all in the spaces of seconds. This is the gaming experience on a PC. And while you can digitally put things on your consoles, the fact that I don't really own them and they could be taken away from me at any moment doesn't feel good for me investing my dollars into a platform that's siphoning my wallet. Same thing. And no console is above it. I love Nintendo. You've seen the movie. You see all the stuff. Like, I am a Nintendo fanboy. The amazing thing. But what happened with Nintendo and Smash Brothers, it freaking kills me. The game itself, when you buy it, if you buy Smash Brothers Ultimate, it was like $80. But with all the DLC downloads and packs and stuff that you do in there, you end up spending maybe 3 times, 4 times the amount of game for all the characters. And then you realize this one game ended up costing you as much as a Nintendo Switch in the end. Why does it have to be that way? Why, if I purchase your game, can I have those characters in there just unlocked by gameplay? Why do I have to purchase them? And purchase them at outright numbers. Some of the Mortal Kombat 1 DLCs and stuff out there, they're talking about $20 for a finishing move. Like, are you serious? Like, I just put so much money into your game. The day one edition was $119. Like, Kakarot, $100 and something dollars. Not Kakarot, Sparking Zero, $100 and some dollars for the game, for the ultimate experience to have all the characters in it. Like, and then why isn't digital a different price from the hard copy game? Why are they the same price? With digital, you're not getting the box, you're not getting the box art, there's no longer a booklet, there's really nothing on the disc. So why are they the same price? If it's digital, shouldn't you be getting a discounted price because there was no manufacturing cost, there was no box cost, there was no plastic cost, there was none of those costs incurred for that digital game that you may not own. So shouldn't there be a difference in cost when it comes from digital over hard copy? It should be. And hard copy should be exactly that. I can't tell you how many times I've bought a game and it's been nothing in the box but a download code. What the hell? What is the point of me buying it in the store in a box just to get an empty box? Bro, and like I said, no console is above it. It's happened on Nintendo, it's happened on PlayStation, it's happened on Xbox. But if you ask the Game Ninja here in the Game Dojo, our version of things, they're nice to have. They're nice to play. They're awesome experiences. But in my opinion, there's one experience above them all that ranks better, and that's PC gaming. And I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. I want to say it. PC gaming is a better experience for me. And it should be for you, because there's really nothing held back. And they're trying their damnness to stop that from happening on PC and trying to cap it and encourage it. I just saw Spider-Man 2, the specs for them releasing it on PC. You're talking about 250 gigs of a game. 250 gigs of a game. Now, most computers come with a terabyte, 2 terabyte, 5 terabyte. I think you can do a 10 terabyte or a 20 terabyte hard drive system on a PC. That's really simple. Pop it in. If you have the, it looks like memory sticks, the M.dot memory, you just plug it in and there you go, you're golden. But when it comes to consoles, it's not so easy, because now your consoles, even at a terabyte, at 256 gigs a game or 300 gigs a game, and some of them Call of Duty games top out at almost 500 to have all the things, put all the campaigns and onlines and Warzone and War, like that stuff adds up. So now you're talking about 3 games take up your entire terabyte hard drive. 3 games. 3 that you lose access to because you don't physically own them. That to me is a travesty in the gaming industry. But like I said, if you're looking for a better experience and a better time for entertainment wise, I just found it better on PC. Now, I do all forms of gaming on all platforms. Old, new, AR, VR, I do it. I have digital games as well as I have physical games, and I've been on the aspect of everything that I'm talking about with you, and I've gone through it. I have Smash Brothers Ultimate and put another $200 in it for DLCs. That feels awful to me. And then at the end of the year, some game systems like Nintendo will let you know the games you bought, how much you spent, your playtime, and everything, your gaming stats at the end of the year. And when you add it all up, you're like, Jesus, I spent that much like on games? Like, damn! Because you don't think about it. You're thinking about it and you're chasing the experience. It's a high you're chasing. And they know it. And they're digital drug dealers. And unfortunately, we're all junkies looking for the next fix. But I found with PC, my particular brand of digital crack is a little bit more refined. My experience is a little bit better. And the high is much higher. And that's just this one gamer's opinion. But we've covered a lot in this video. So I tell you what, I want you guys to think about it, digest it a little bit, and just think about the experience that you're having with gaming and the experience you want out of gaming. And are you really happy? So then, I'm gonna take PC. So I'm gonna jump in and bust some God of War. While you, my beautiful patrons, thank you for watching this video. Keep that game tight like Kobe did on game night. Your game is on and it's strong. And when it's on, it's like hot buttered popcorn on Donkey Kong. And I'll see you guys next game, next time, next round. Here from the Game Dojo, the Game Ninja saying happy gaming and game on. But get your experience. You only go around this rock one time. Have the most ultimate experience you can have. And don't worry about people eating your lunch because you want to get dressed up and cosplay out. You can do whatever you want. It's your experience. Enjoy your experience. Because at the end of the day, it's your experience that counts. You're your #1 star player. And it's the only person that 99% of us always neglect. You spent the money for that console. You spent the money for that PC. You spent the money for that game. You spent the money for that experience. Take it to the highest level. Become an elite gamer. Enjoy it. Dress up. Put makeup on. Call your friends over. Have a pizza party. Go back and pull out that old PlayStation 2. Blow the dust off of it. Buy some adapters that you don't need to buy so that you can play an old console on your new system. Enjoy your gaming experience today, because tomorrow may not be promised. And with the crazy world we live in, you never know when that game is your last game. So make it count, enjoy it, have fun. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, baby. Thank you for joining me here in the Game Dojo.
One of us is better off in our house than all of us.
The gods of these realms don't take kindly to outsiders, trust me.
You are God.
Leader of the Daimyo, once yes, no longer.
There's only one person alive that can get you where you need to go.
First, you need to cut off my head. Odin's eye is on you, brother. Especially now that you've taken to killing his kin.
Y'all still around? Go game! What you waiting for?